the untold story of Britain's most influential inventor. They didn't command armies, they didn't wear crowns, yet their ideas quietly rewired the world. Every time a factory hums, a turbine spins, or a light flickers on, you're touching the ripple effect of one mind. Not a conqueror, not a politician, an inventor. This is the human story behind the engineer who helped accelerate the Industrial Revolution and reshape global industry. It's not about legend, it's about persistence, precision, partnership, and the improvement that changed everything. 1. The Restless Apprentice. Long before his name became a unit of measurement, James Watt was a quiet, observant boy in Greenock, Scotland. Born in 1736, he wasn't a conventional academic success. He struggled in formal schooling but showed remarkable mechanical intuition from an early age. His father was a shipwright and merchant, and young Watt grew up surrounded by tools, timber, and instruments. By his early 20s, he trained as a mathematical instrument maker in London before returning to Scotland. In 1757, he established a small workshop at the University of Glasgow, repairing and constructing scientific instruments, quadrants, compasses, and delicate measuring devices. Picture the scene: brass shavings glinting under candlelight, precision files scraping softly against metal, a young craftsman obsessing over calibration. Watt wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing accuracy. That obsession would soon collide with a machine that most engineers had already accepted as good enough. 2. The engine that wasted heat. In the 1760s, Watt was asked to repair a model of a Newcomen steam engine at the University of Glasgow. The Newcomen engine, first developed in the early 18th century, was widely used to pump water out of mines. It worked, but it was inefficient. The flaw was fundamental. The same cylinder was repeatedly heated by steam and then cooled with injected water. Each cycle wasted enormous amounts of fuel reheating metal that had just been cooled. Watt didn't invent the steam engine. Thomas Newcomen and earlier experimenters like Thomas Savery had already built working designs. What Watt did was identify a core inefficiency that others had tolerated. In 1765, while walking on Glasgow Green, Watt conceived a solution: separate the condensing process from the main cylinder. Instead of cooling the cylinder itself, steam would be condensed in a different chamber, keeping the main cylinder hot and dramatically improving efficiency. It was an elegant engineering insight. And it worked. Tests showed significant fuel savings compared to Newcomen engines. In coal-intensive industries, that translated into real money. Watt patented the separate condenser in 1769. But patents don't build factories, and insight alone doesn't industrialize a nation. Watt needed a partner. 3. The partnership that changed industry. That partner arrived in the form of Matthew Boulton, a dynamic manufacturer based in Birmingham. In 1775, Watt's patent was extended by Act of Parliament, and Boulton entered into formal partnership with him. Boulton brought capital, business acumen, and manufacturing capacity. Watt brought engineering brilliance. Together they formed Boulton and Watt. Their improved steam engines began appearing in mines across Britain, particularly in Cornwall, where pumping water was a constant struggle. Contemporary records show dramatic reductions in fuel consumption compared to older designs. Imagine enormous beam engines rising and falling in mining districts, iron arms swinging with steady rhythm powered by more efficient steam cycles. Mines that had been drowning in groundwater could now operate deeper and longer, but pumping water was only the beginning. The real transformation would come when steam stopped just lifting and started turning. 4. From pumping to powering. Watt's early engines were primarily used for pumping, but he understood that if steam could produce controlled rotary motion, it could drive machinery directly. In 1781, Boulton and Watt patented the sun and planet gear system. This mechanism converted the up and down motion of a beam engine into continuous rotational motion. While crank systems existed, patent restrictions influenced Watt's design choice. The result? Steam could now power spinning machines in textile mills, flour grinders, ironworks, and more. Factories were no longer dependent on water wheels positioned beside rivers. Steam engines allowed industrial sites to be built where labour and logistics made sense, especially in growing urban centres. This shift contributed significantly to Britain's industrial expansion in the late 18th century. While Watt did not single-handedly cause the Industrial Revolution, his efficiency improvements and rotary innovations accelerated industrial scalability. Production increased, output stabilized, power became consistent, and steam became synonymous with progress. Yet Watt's genius extended beyond mechanical refinement. He also understood something crucial: persuasion. 5. Selling power, the birth of horsepower. Mine owners didn't think in abstract thermodynamics, they understood horses. To demonstrate his engine's capability, Watt standardized the concept of horsepower. While horses had long been informally measured for work output, Watt formalized the calculation, estimating that a horse could turn a mill wheel 144 times in an hour, lifting 33,000 pounds 1 foot per minute. He used this metric to compare steam engines directly with animal labor. It was marketing grounded in mathematics. Suddenly, buyers could calculate exactly how many horses a steam engine could replace. Efficiency became tangible. Sales increased. Centuries later, the SI unit of power, the watt, was named in his honor, adopted in 1889 by the British Association for the Advancement of Science. Today, electrical devices worldwide are rated in watts. That's a rare legacy, to have your name measure global energy. But the path wasn't smooth. Watt was cautious, sometimes overly cautious. 6. Caution, patents, and protection. Unlike later engineers who embraced high-pressure steam, Watt preferred low-pressure systems. He believed high-pressure steam was dangerous, and in his era, boiler explosions were indeed a real risk. He also fiercely defended his patents. Boulton and Watt pursued legal action against competitors who infringed on their designs. These efforts ensured their commercial dominance during the patent term. Some historians argue that strict patent enforcement slowed alternative experimentation. Others contend it preserved quality control and rewarded innovation. What's clear is this: Watt operated within an emerging system of intellectual property rights. He demonstrated that engineering breakthroughs could and should be protected commercially. Beyond legal battles, Watt continued refining his engines. He improved sealing techniques, introduced double-acting engines, where steam powered both upward and downward strokes, and incorporated governors for automatic speed regulation. While the centrifugal governor existed before Watt, he refined and integrated it effectively into steam engines. This was iterative engineering, methodical and incremental, not flashy, but transformative. 7. Industry expands. Consequences follow. By the time Watt retired around 1800, steam power was embedded in Britain's industrial framework. He did not live to see the great railway boom of the 1820s and 1830s, but his improvements laid foundational groundwork for later locomotive engineers such as George Stephenson. Steam power enabled deeper mining, larger factories, and eventually mechanized transportation. Industrialization brought economic growth and rising productivity. It also contributed to rapid urban expansion, increased coal consumption, and environmental change. Watt himself focused primarily on mechanical efficiency and safety. He could not have foreseen the full scale of 19th century industrial society. But his engineering solutions made large-scale industrial energy economically viable, and that viability reshaped cities, labor systems, and global trade networks. From Britain, steam technology spread across Europe and North America. Industrialization became international. Watt's improvement to the steam engine didn't create energy, it optimized it. Optimized energy changes civilizations. 8. The blueprint of modern innovation. James Watt represents a powerful lesson about innovation. Revolutions are often built on refinements. He didn't invent steam. He didn't invent mechanical motion. He identified inefficiency and eliminated it with precision. Separate the condenser, reduce fuel waste, convert motion, measure output, protect the design, scale through partnership. That blueprint feels familiar today. Modern innovators frequently don't invent entirely new phenomena. They optimize systems dramatically. Whether in energy, computing, or manufacturing, progress often emerges from improvement rather than invention. Watt's career also highlights the importance of collaboration. Without Matthew Boulton's resources and factory network, Watt's ideas might have remained prototypes. Engineering alone wasn't enough. Execution mattered. By the time of his death in 1819, Watt was widely respected. Statues were erected, honours granted, his name entered textbooks. But the real monument is quieter. It hums in power plants, it spins in turbines, it pulses through electrical grids. The industrial world learned that efficiency equals scale, and scale equals transformation. Watt didn't command headlines in his lifetime like a military hero might, but he commanded something more enduring, momentum. And momentum, once engineered properly, rarely stops. James Watt didn't invent steam power, but he made it efficient enough to fuel a revolution. His refinements accelerated industry, shaped innovation, and gave the modern world a measurable unit of energy. The quiet engineer from Scotland changed history, not loudly but permanently. And there are more hidden architects still waiting. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.